The Frames Per Second podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Frames Per Second podcast. I'm your host for the evening. My name is Mike. Next to me I have Jalen.
Yep.
Next to me I have Ken.
Hola.
Next to Ken is Spike.
What up, though?
And we are talking about is it 20th or the 25th?
20th.
The 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. This is episode 3 in the trilogy, the third prequel movie. I'm trying to do the math. 20 years from right now. 2005. Yeah, thank you. 2005. So, yeah, we're going to go quickly around the horn. I'm going to start with Spike because I'm pretty sure he's never seen this before. Spike, is this your first time watching this movie?
It is my first time watching the movie.
So you don't remember when this came out?
I do remember because this is one of the remakes, right?
No.
It wasn't?
No.
It was one of the remakes.
It's not a remake.
Remaking how he's thinking about
I'm talking about when they rebooted the series.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
not one of the
okay.
old ones.
Yeah.
So I remember when they were doing this and it came out, but I'd never been a Star Wars fan, so I didn't tap in. But I did like this movie. Like, it's good. Like, I always just feel that there's so much about the Star Wars universe that I don't know. So I haven't done the work yet to dive into it and to really get the full impact of the things that are happening. But I did get the big significance of this one. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right, Ken, do you remember when this came out? Or did you like it?
I do. I really enjoyed it. It was fun rewatching this, especially given like all the additional things that I know now, thinking about like different stories that's taking place now while this is going on. So yeah, it's been a minute since I watched this movie, so it was good to re-experience it again.
And since you're quite a bit younger than us, Jalen, I assume your generation kind of grew up with this version of Star Wars.
Yeah, this was the first Star Wars film I ever saw.
Damn. Interesting.
Yeah.
In the theater or just period?
No, I didn't see it in the theater.
Okay.
I didn't see it in the theater. And I was introduced to Star Wars through the pod racing game on Nintendo 64. So yeah, that was the first time I ever like knew what Star Wars was.
And you wonder why we call your generation soft.
And and then after that, I saw like the trailer on like a commercial, and I was like, I want to go see that. Mama didn't take me to see it, but I found a way to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And did you like it?
Now or then,
Either one.
it's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
What about then? Because I don't know which one.
Then
you
I
gave
thought
us.
it was great.
Now it's cool.
Now it's cool.
why is it falling?
It seems to me personally, I feel like Anakin's change is a little bit more rushed when I watch through the trilogy. I would prefer for it to have started in the second movie.
It did.
Kind of evolved, not as much as it's like
Near the
I
end
wanted.
of
I
it,
wish it
though.
would have been more invested. But even in this movie, it just seems like it's like it's like a quick change,
I agree with
and it really takes me out of it because how much I love Darth Vader now, and it's like I kind of wanted a little bit
Yeah, but
more.
I think there was a reason why that it happened so fast, which we'll probably get into, but and that's why it was as rushed as it may have felt.
Yeah. In a way, it looks kind of. I get it. I should like take the gaze off of like, yeah, it was made in 2005. But now looking at Star Wars, even looking at the original trilogy, I like the practicality of it more than a whole bunch of CGI and green screen.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't really like this as much looking at it now.
I'm with you on that 100%.
Yeah,
I
I
do think
definitely
that
agree
they
with that.
fucked up with, because George Lucas basically was like, I'm doing all this CG stuff because we didn't have CG when I made the originals. So who knows how bad those movies would have looked if he had the access to the technology that he had with. But yeah, I'm with you. They don't look great, but I do love this story. And I do think that the Clone Wars cartoon answered a lot of those questions of, how the turn happened so quick.
Is that fair to the movie? Like,
No, it's
I
not.
know a lot of people use as like the Clone Wars make the whole trilogy look a lot better. I'm like, but that's not the movie. Like,
No,
we're judging the movie itself, and I'm like, it's cool. It's not as great. I get it. There's more backstory there, but it doesn't give me as. If I watched it just the film, it's like, it's okay.
I get what you're saying. I don't, I'm definitely not going to argue that point. I definitely understand what you're getting at. It was rushed. I do think that there were subtle hints to what was happening towards the end of the last movie and the beginning of this movie. which we will get into. But yeah, I do really like this movie. This is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I didn't love the first two prequels at all. And when they finally were doing this one, I was like, all right, well, let's just see what they fucking do. And I think what it was is I walked out of the theater being like, they fucking did it, man. They fucking did it. Like they really went there with Anakin. Now, I do have a lot of problems with this movie, which we also get into. But yeah, we can go ahead and get into it. Just so y'all know, I'm not gonna go into every single detail of this film. I did some high level questions here because this is a long ass movie and a lot of shit happens in this movie. So I'm not gonna cover every single thing. But let's start with the beginning. Spike, what did you think of the opening battle and how the whole thing opens up?
That was cool. Like, it looked cool as far as the battle. Again, it's my first time seeing it. And I think I seen the second one. I'm not sure, but I do remember like him starting to change a little bit at the end of that one, like you were referring to. But the battle was cool. I really liked it.
What about you, Ken?
I mean, they did a good job of starting with action, and you have you see this whole war thing going on. They already told you what happened. Palpatine is in there and they got to go get him. So I think it was good to see them just kind of come in hot, with everything. And they even had, moments of, like levity, with buzz droids and stuff like that, with R2D2 having
Get
a
him,
moment.
R2.
Yeah. And, so, and that Star Wars has always been really good, especially with some of the earlier, it's really good at that. Making it kind of appeal to kids a little bit.
Yeah. That was definitely their strong suit back then, very much so. Mr. Is Cool, what did you think about it?
I mean, it was good to open up the film with like no pun intended, like the stars in the back, like the backdrop, and fighting in space. Because they kind of ground you in like where you're at, because they don't really do it anywhere else in the film. So it does resonate with you, and it kind of puts you in the position of understanding what Star Wars was. So it was good to open up here.
Yeah, the movie sold me from the very beginning, man. I think the scene of opening up on this calm ship and they're flying through, everything looks fine. And then they go around the ship and there's this fucking huge battle going on. It's still to this day, when I watch that scene, it amazes me how fucking dope it is, how this huge battle scene is happening. But did y'all not catch that even from the very beginning, we're getting glimpses of why Anakin does what he does? Like so I'll give you a part where he's talking to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's getting attacked by the buzz droids, as Ken referenced, and Obi-Wan's telling him to leave, and Anakin doesn't want to leave. There's also a part where he says, I'm going to go help that trooper out. And what does Obi-Wan say?
He let him do his job or whatever.
Let him do his job and keep doing what you're doing.
Ours.
So this is at the very, very start of the film. This is showing Anakin is very big on attachments. And this is something that the Clone Wars show also shows. But I get you. We can take the cartoon out. But even in this movie, we're seeing that Anakin is very much like, I don't see a problem with personal connections. But Obi-Wan is very much by the book. Nope. He's doing his job. We have to do ours. I might die, but you need to go ahead and go save the Chancellor. So I think that even though, yes, I still agree with you that it's rushed, I do think that they gave subtle hints to what's going on with Anakin throughout the film. But Jalen, when they land on Grievous's ship, what do you think of the battle that Anakin and Obi-Wan have with Dooku?
It was cool. It was cool, especially the way the battle ends with what Anakin does. Like, that's kind of one of my favorite parts of the film. Like,
that was cold.
Yeah, it was cold the way he just beheaded that nigga. Like, he stopped for a second. It was just, but yeah, that whole battle was pretty dope. I really did enjoy that.
What about you, Spike?
Same thing. The beheading was really like the double sword beheading. Like, that was fire.
You think he was gonna do it because he's a Jedi?
I didn't.
Supposed to do that?
I didn't. I know he's not supposed to do that, right? And they good guys supposedly. So no, I ain't think he's gonna do it.
Yeah, poor Obi-Wan, bro.
I know he got took out quick.
Yeah. No, this was cool. Of course, the end result is cool, but I was really just kind of listening to like Palpatine and like the things he was saying to get him to do that, and maybe a little bit to your point, I was like, it didn't feel like he gave him enough reason for him to go forward with it, other than he's too dangerous to live. And poor Dooku was like,
Yeah.
Like, bro, you gonna leave
He's like,
me
you
hanging
told
like
me
this?
to do this. What do you mean?
Yeah, Dooku was like, yo, like, help me out here. The choreography of this fight wasn't as good as some of the other ones we got later. I did notice that Dooku was moving a little slow.
He's old.
But overall, it was good. It was a little light work.
Yeah, I like this scene a lot, but like you said, poor Obi-Wan. I was just like, bro, what? I know that was their way of like, well, could we have to get Obi-Wan out of here and have Anakin do this by himself? But I was just like, you threw him across the room and knocked him out. That's really what happened to Obi-Wan. But I really like this battle, and I like the things that Dooku's saying to him. You have anger, you have fear, but you refuse to use them. And then he says something very, very key. Right before Anakin kills Dooku, he says, basically he's an unarmed prisoner. That's not the Jedi way. And Palpatine tells him to do it anyway. So remember that part, because we'll get back to that later. But not the Jedi way is very, very key here. Ken, what'd you think of the showdown with Grievous once they get into that room?
The funniest thing about Grievous is this man had a cold.
The whole time. Motherfucker had COVID for the whole movie.
Long COVID. Yeah, long
COVID.
As a robot. This was cool, but it's the later Grievous stuff that I enjoyed the most. Because I remember Grievous. I was like, oh man, Grievous ain't no slouch, and I was waiting to see that, so I didn't get a lot of it here, but because I think he kind of ran off, didn't he? Yeah, he got up out of there. So
yeah,
so it was fine.
What about you, Spike?
Same. I think it was fine. I actually didn't really get much from that.
Yeah,
it didn't. Because I need more context. I felt like, right? Or it was.
We'll get to it, but I think they fucked this whole thing up. Honestly,
was the Clone Wars before this?
I for some reason I had it in my head that the Clone Wars cartoon came out before this, but I don't think it did. I think the Clone Wars cartoon came out after this. Now, there was a Clone Wars movie that I didn't know until recently is not canon. So when you're talking about Grievous, the Grievous in that is not the Grievous in this.
Gotcha.
Which is why I think they completely fucked up the character of Grievous. The Grievous in that cartoon movie was killing Jedi left and right. They were running and hiding from him. This Grievous is just kind of like a bitch. He's like does little shit, then he runs and hides. That's not the way Grievous originally was.
Even in the Clone Wars, he doesn't like the show.
Yeah.
The bits that I've seen.
He's not like this.
He's not like this. So yeah, I wasn't really a big fan. It's like, because him coming up later is just like, all right, like I'm not really invested in him as a Sith. Like this isn't that great of a threat to me in this film.
Yeah, this is one of my biggest disappointments with this film is you created this villain and then you made him whack. And I don't really understand why, because he's such a cool character. A half man, or half alien, half robot that has studied how to use lightsabers and has 4 arms. How do you fuck this up? But the fact that he was able to kill multiple Jedi, but then he can't even barely fight these, it was weird. It was weird. But I think this is some of George Lucas's shortcomings. He's great at writing amazing stories. I don't think he's great at directing. So I think that's the problem here.
You don't think they made him a powerful enough character? Is that why?
Not at all. I think he was a badass in that cartoon movie and in the show, but in the movie he's just not that.
I don't think they had a plan. You don't think? Because if he was introducing this, I don't know if they had an exact plan on how to use him.
That's what I was trying to look up while y'all were talking. I cannot remember, but I'll look it up while y'all are answering the next question. I can't remember if the Clone Wars cartoon movie came out before or after Revenge of the Sith.
I got you.
But yeah, Ken, does Anakin and Padme finding out they have a baby, does that interest you at all? And what did you think of their conversation concerning the premonition that Anakin was having?
The premonition to me was a sign of how he was going to get to ultimately where he ended. And he was seeing things. A question I do have for you, I ask after I finish is, but yeah, I think her being pregnant, of course, leads to Luke and Leia. So that was interesting. So for me, it's like, how does this story unfold the rest of the movie? Because we knew that Anakin is the father, so we knew that it was going to happen. But how would this impact him, and what role does the premonitions play in it?
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Spike?
In the moment, nothing, but again, being very beginner in this world, knowing that, like you said, the baby is going to be Luke Skywalker, who the whole thing is pretty much based off of, and you get the iconic "I'm your father" scene. So nothing in the moment, but at the end, when the reveal of who Anakin is, that day, then I was like, oh, okay, and the pieces start coming together.
So you didn't know Anakin was going to be Darth Vader?
Mm-mm.
God, I wish I could be that.
No.
Yeah.
God, I wish I could be that.
My first time watching it, I didn't
I
really
had
know either.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like at the end, like it's okay, I get it. Yeah.
I wish I could be you just for an hour.
Yeah,
And have that whole thing be it. Because I mean, we grew up knowing who Darth Vader and Anakin were, and I still, as a child, I remember finding out that Darth Vader was his father, and we were like, "What?
Yeah, it was a moment.
What? What do you mean?"
Yeah.
But Obi-Wan said he was dead. Did he lie? What's happening? You know, all this shit.
When I first saw this film and the way it had looked back then, I had liked the way it looked. I was like, maybe they'll do the original ones over again, and I can wait to see.
Just watch it
Because I didn't want to see it from the 70s.
I mean,
I was
he
like,
kinda
I wish
did.
they would.
It's like,
I wish
you
they
know.
would remake them.
I
He
was
kind
thinking
of
the same
did. He
thing,
threw
too.
those fucking bullshit ass. I don't know if you saw those, but if you go back and watch the versions of the original trilogy that are on, I'm pretty sure the ones that are on Disney Plus, those have those terrible garbage fucking CGI scenes that he added to the movies. And it's just like, why did you do this, man? Just leave them alone. They're fucking perfect films as they are. But real quick, for anybody that wants to answer this, because I don't think we need to go deep into it. But was Anakin right to be upset when the council didn't give him rank of Jedi Master?
I was trying to figure this out because they did not put him on the council.
No.
Palpatine did.
Yes.
So why are you mad at them when you technically didn't earn it?
Because you're not supposed to be able to be on the council if you're not a Jedi Master. But I think that was the whole point.
I get it, but it's like, bro, like you were put on there to spy on them. So like you're technically supposed to be a master, but you're not a master, bro. It's like, nah, you ain't. To your point, you haven't earned it yet. Because if you were a master, we would put you on the damn council. But my question is, how does Palpatine has the authority to say who can sit on the council or not?
The way I look at it is, Palpatine would be like the president, and the Jedi Council would be like, let's say, like the House of Reps or something. I think what they're trying to imply is like the president kind of has the power in this universe to be like, well, I want somebody else on this in this House of Representatives. So I think, yes, I think he has, because the Jedi Council does work with the government. So they're almost like Elon's Doge. You know, they're not like exactly a branch of the government, but they directly work with them. So I think what he's saying is, I have a right, if you're advising or if you're having direct influence, then I have the right to have somebody there that I've appointed. So I think that it wasn't really explained super well. But yeah, that's the way I've always taken it.
Okay.
So yeah, so Palpatine put him on the council so he could spy for him. But the council wants Anakin to spy on Palpatine. So, Jalen, what did you think of the conversation between Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Mace Windu when they're I think they're in the ship talking?
I think they handled it wrong, first of all. To them, you should have already known that Anakin you could tell he has these attachments, because that was their worry in the first place. Is like he was becoming attached to so many things.
Yeah.
But if you know that, the way you should have handled it was probably addressed it different, because they're soldiers in their heads, basically, in a way. Like, they're soldier monks. I don't even know how to describe
They're
it.
they're supposed to be more like peacekeepers.
Yes, they're supposed to be like neutral. But they're not people. They're not people's people.
Yeah.
Like, so they didn't know how to approach him the way they should have. So it was kind of fucked up the way they addressed it to him, but I also understood why they addressed it to him the way they did.
It almost felt like they were insulted and disrespected that he was even on there. It's just like we didn't ask you to be on here. So we don't respect your position on this role, and we're going to still keep you in that same position that you were in before you got placed on this council. But they also saw an opportunity too that they wanted to take advantage of, since he had a connection with Palpatine, and they tried to utilize that to their advantage. So I do to a degree agree with you, because I think their treatment of him wasn't the best, and then you turn around and ask for something from him. Like he wanted to be a master. You said no, but hey, by the way, can you go do this?
Yep.
Like if you said he was a master, he may have been more willing to do that because you see him as an equal now.
Right.
But Palpatine, man, he brilliantly planted all the seeds and set all of this up. And he even told him before Rip, like, they're going to ask you to do this thing. And then they turned around and did it anyway.
Yeah, they sunned him. I take the same view that Jalen and Spike had. They sunned him and then tried to send him out.
He's getting old. He's been around us too much.
Oh, I said Spike. Ken. Jalen and Ken. And I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, I got the same thing, and I agree with y'all 100%. They didn't approach it right. They didn't handle it right. And that's what Jedi do. That's their biggest flaw, is they have too much ego, even though they don't think they do, but they have too much ego, too much hubris. And yes, they don't handle situations the correct way. Instead, they try to always go by this strict book until it doesn't benefit them to go by that strict book anymore. But that plays into this next scene. I wanted to see if y'all picked up on this. Ken, the conversation between Padme and Anakin when they were in their little apartment or whatever. Did you take anything interesting from that conversation when she's asking him to go back and talk to Palpatine about stopping the war? Do you remember this?
Wasn't he talking about, like, they don't respect him in this between? So his ego is starting to get in the way, and so he embodies that Jedi thing you were just talking about. But yeah, the takeaway I took from this was, like, his ego was getting in the way of him doing something that could have been beneficial to everyone. He's focused on, they don't respect me, I should be a master, they won't let me be a master, and now they want me to go ahead and do this. And she was like, you have an opportunity here to go do something, why don't you do it? And he wouldn't listen to her. He didn't listen to her a lot in this movie.
Did you get that, Spike?
Yeah, and now that I'm talking about it back with you and listening, you could talk. I see where the breadcrumbs are being laid for his turn. Like all of these things about they don't respect me, and then the last scene we just talked about where they didn't give him what he wanted and then try to send him out.
Yep.
Like you can see it slowly start to build, and then why he turns to Sith. Is that what it is? Yeah. So, yeah.
Did you get that, Jalen, or no?
Yeah, but I also feel like with the ego part, and we see it throughout the film, like Palpatine understands, like, I'm going to feed his ego. Like I'm going to, like, maybe not even his ego, his feelings. Like I'm going to, like, enable them to have him understand it. And like she was trying in a way to really be like there for him, but he just wouldn't allow it. Like I feel like and you can see it in the end of the film, like it was just like he just wasn't, I don't think he was completely open to it because he was blinded by ego. Like he understood. I don't know. It's very a weird dynamic in this scene, and I'm thinking back at it, because it's like, yeah, she was trying to, but you weren't really trying to hear it at all. And then the more I think about the film as it goes on, he wasn't really completely open to it the way he should have been.
So I think I slightly disagree with you.
Okay.
What I took from this scene is, so if you remember, she's saying, have you ever maybe thought that we might be on the wrong side of the war? That's the first thing she asks him. And then she says, you can go, you have Palpatine's ear. You can go talk to him and ask him to stop the war. And he immediately gets upset and is like, don't ask me to do that. So what I've always taken from the scene is he feels like everybody's using him. Nobody is asking him what he wants. I don't think she did a good job at all being there for him. she immediately heard that he was upset and was like, okay, well, this is what I want. She's not saying, well, hey, you know, have you tried to maybe have a talk with Obi-Wan? Maybe you should call a meeting and just express to them what's going on. No, she's like, hey, go talk to him and figure out if you can find a way to stop the war. So I think what's going on with Anakin is the Jedi Council is using him, including his best friend / you know, father figure, Obi-Wan. Now his girl is trying to use him. The only one that in his mind, the only one that's not trying to use him and that's actually listening to his feelings is Palpatine. So that's why all of this is happening. Palpatine picked the perfect person, the person that everybody else is ignoring and bossing around. And that's the person that he picked. He was a groomer.
Yeah. I see your point. I also feel like her saying that maybe we're on the wrong side of the war was automatically a trigger for him.
Yes, because he spent so much time.
He's so invested into it that he wasn't even going to listen to her after that, regardless. And that's more so where I'm coming from. Is like he was tuned. It was going to be tuned out regardless. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that now because I remember like you're not even listening to her. Like, he wasn't hearing it after that.
Yeah. All right, Jalen, what'd you think of the conversation between Palpatine and Anakin in the theater?
Which scene was this? Because they had a bunch of conversations. I'm trying to make sure.
Well, they only had the one in the theater, so that's when.
In the theater where he starts talking about the Sith Lord.
Yeah, he's talking about Darth Plagueis, and he
man, right there, man. He should have the antenna should have went up. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? like we supposed to be wiping out these niggas. Why do you know so like what? Why do you know so much and I didn't learn this from the Jedi? I was like, what's going on here? So to me, I was like, Anakin, you can't be this dumb. Like now knowing he's Darth Vader, I'm like, come on, bro. Like you should this right here should have been like, nigga, what the fuck we talking about right here? So yeah, and maybe I'm looking at it with hindsight because I know what happens and I know who he becomes and who Palpatine is. But when I was first watching it, it went over my head because I know it was coming like you, Spike. But now I'm like, why didn't that like red flags alerts just go off?
It did go over my head, like you just saying. I didn't have that reaction at all. I just like, I don't get it. Like I didn't understand what was happening right there until later, since I know now what happened. So yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing that story, you know, that he was telling, but I think for me he was starting to plant a seed for Padme about a guy who was able to cheat death, and he had been having these premonitions about what's going to happen with Padme. So once he heard that story, and he was hearing it from Palpatine, and no Jedi had ever told him this story because they don't really talk about this stuff like that. It's kind of forbidden in a way that he's like, well, you're giving me all this information that I haven't heard before. They're keeping secrets from me now. They're keeping things from me now. And now there's a chance for me to use this to my benefit. So yeah, I'm actually interested to hear more.
Before you go, Mike, so he already spoke to Yoda about it, right?
Yeah, for like 2 seconds.
Okay. And so he told Palpatine that he was having these dreams too? Or
yes.
did Palpatine just pick it up from the, like, knowing it from the sense?
So
sensing it in the Force.
Two things. So during this conversation, we definitely realized that Anakin tells Palpatine a lot. Because Palpatine later on brings up how Anakin killed the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, when he went
in
back
episode
to
2. Why would he tell Palpatine that? It's because he trusts Palpatine. You know, he views Palpatine as his friend. So, sorry, I started talking and I forgot what you actually asked me. What did you actually ask me?
Did he tell Palpatine about
sorry, yes.
that he was having?
Yes. So, did he tell them, or is Palpatine planting those dreams?
That's what I was always wondering. I was like,
you.
Is he planting that in his head? Like, but I also realized Star Wars is one of those famous quotes where it's like, the person can decide his destiny by the path they take to avoid it.
So that's what I was getting at earlier when we were talking about the premonitions, and I totally forgot that I was going to bring that part up. The premonitions, you can look at them in a number of different ways, but you can look at it like these are premonitions and Anakin was trying to stop those premonitions from happening. But you can also look at it like if Palpatine is planting those premonitions, then what actually happened
Mhm.
is Anakin fulfilled the premonition by trying to stop
avoid
it.
it. Yeah.
Right. So when we're hearing them discussing this stuff in the theater, you know, Palpatine says a lot of interesting things to Anakin. He says, you know, the Jedi and the Sith are very similar. Then he also says that, you know, the story of Darth Plagueis, which is a very important story here because he's saying how Plagueis figured out how to essentially create life and stop people that he loved from dying. So there's two things with this. One, he's feeding into Anakin's biggest fear that he has potentially placed, which is losing Padme.
Mhm.
So if I can tap into that part of him and say, well, I can help stop that from happening, then I'm going to get Anakin's trust. The other part is he's also sort of implying that he helped create Anakin. If you remember episode 1, when they're talking to Anakin, did you go back and watch the other two or no?
No, well, I think I got halfway through too.
Okay. Well, in the first one, when they first find Anakin, and he's a child, they outline that he never had a dad. She just woke up pregnant.
He's supposed to be like immaculate conception.
That's what people thought until we got this line, and we really started to think about it. It could be that Palpatine was manipulating midichlorians to help create Anakin. So when he says, you know, we figured out a way to manipulate midichlorians to essentially create life, and the way he looks at Anakin, I'm like, oh, that's your daddy. He never comes out and says it, and it still hasn't been confirmed. But that's something that I've always kind of thought, that Palpatine was the one that helped create Anakin.
I've heard that theory before, but yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, this is something that he's trying to tap into that nobody else is helping him with, you know, because he can't really tell everybody that, like, yo, I got this chick pregnant, you know, but the people that do know, because it is confirmed that Obi-Wan did know. He just confirmed it later, but he knew. He knew that Anakin was fucking her. And at some point, we'll have the conversation of, is she a fucking PDF file? Because
I thought that forever. Like
he
was a boy.
He was a child.
He was a boy when she met him.
And I don't know why.
I don't know
George
why
Lucas
he did that.
Didn't fix this. Like, why did you have them meet when he's like 8?
I mean,
and she's a teenager.
It's the early 2000s.
I get it, but
Ain't as
shit
big
was
of a deal
weird.
yet. You know what I'm saying?
That shit's weird, and it just bugs me out that nobody talks about this. Like, why did we just have Natalie Portman show up in the second film? She doesn't have to be in the first one.
Or you could make her
Younger.
a child.
But that would have to be a different actor. You can't make Natalie Portman 8.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
So anyway, all right. So Yoda is sent to Kashyyyk. That's the planet with the Wookiees. And Obi-Wan is sent to Utapau to confront Grievous. So Ken, what did you think of how the confrontation with Grievous and Obi-Wan went down?
Now, I did like this one far better because we finally got this chance to see the 4 lightsabers. You know, but and it was good just seeing how even though Obi-Wan kind of handled him, because I'm like, damn man, he just chopped off his arms and that's it. So he kind of made quick work of like one of his biggest threats, but it was still fun seeing it. But then even after all that happened, him turning into that little spider robot and running and jumping this little wheelbarrow thing, was a circle thing and running off. It was definitely entertaining to watch and seeing him chasing them with that thing, whatever it was, you know, running around, hopping and stuff like that. So I definitely enjoy this and seeing the different facets of Grievous on screen.
Spike, did you like any of this?
Yeah, it was a good like interaction, and then you can see. I thought until you said it in the beginning, like about how powerful he was, I liked how he was able to switch it up, and then even after the arms cut off, turned into the spider and a little rolling thing. So it was cool to watch. I thought he was a average to above average like nemesis.
I think because he's sick, right? Is that why he?
Man, this shit was boo boo.
Really?
So
Yeah, this shit was boo boo.
Why?
Cause it should have been a better fight. He has 4 fucking arms. He has 4 fucking arms,
I
man.
thought that spoke to how good other dude was.
no,
He just got his ass beat by Count Dooku, and this is second in command. So at least it should be closer. Like,
He's only coughing because do you remember the movie?
He's a little older, bro.
oh, and the movie came out in 2008, and the show came out in 2008,
And when did this come out?
2005.
Okay, they both came after this.
Yes.
So in the movie, Grievous had killed a bunch of Jedi. So why isn't it canon then? That's weird. Why is the movie not canon? Grievous was fighting the Jedi or whatever and killed a couple of them. And the reason he's coughing is because Mace Windu crushed his sternum in the fight. And this happened a long time ago, so you may not remember. But
Yeah, I don't.
I'm with Jalen 100%. I've never liked this. I don't understand. Even if we hadn't seen the movie, it's like, but you're making it out where Grievous is kind of a badass. And if he's like, I'm going to add, because earlier he says, I'm going to add your lightsabers to my collection. That means he's killed other Jedi.
Yep.
Now I'm looking at it like the Jedi you killed were sorry as fuck and they deserve to die. Because you didn't even put up a good fight against Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan chopped your hands off quick. Now, I think this is, once again, Lucas having to rush things because there was so much shit he had to cram into this one movie. So that fight, he just had to like wrap it up real quick. But I like this as an action scene because I just love the way Obi-Wan just kind of just comes down there and he's just like, hey, let's go by himself. Hello there. And drops the thing on those other guys and then just starts like wrecking shop. But I've never ever liked how weak they made Grievous. It's always bothered me about this film.
That it took me out soon, and I thought about it immediately. I was like, well, he has 4 lifesavers.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan should like struggle a little bit,
A little bit.
get winded or something. Like, no, not at all. This shit was boo boo.
The only struggling he had was once he dropped his lightsaber and he like kicked him that one time
Man.
and broke his fucking shin bone. That was the only time he struggled. And Grievous was slapping the shit out of him and knocking him all around and stuff. But still, it was just like
The lightsaber fight.
Was whack.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but the overall thing I did enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did backhand the shit out of
Smacked the
Obi-Wan.
shit out of him. Knocked him into the fucking car. I was like, God damn, Obi-Wan.
He can get up from that shit, but couldn't get up in the beginning of the movie.
It wasn't a rock on him though.
That wasn't a rock on him either.
It was something on Obi-Wan.
No, earlier he dropped that.
It was the
platform on him.
platform, but it wasn't a rock.
But
I get your point.
He
King.
he slapped the shit out of him. Maybe the force kind of took some of that force, but he did slap the shit out of him. Okay, so speaking of, I won't give my opinion yet. Ken, what did you think of? So Anakin tells Mace Windu that Palpatine's a Sith, and Palpatine, I think it's Kit Fist. No, is it Kit Fist? No, it's not Kit Fisto. I don't remember. Palpatine and 3 other motherfuckers go to arrest. God, I'm getting all my shit fucked up. I'm doing like Spike did, saying the wrong names. Mace Windu and 3 Jedi go to arrest Palpatine. What did you think of how that went down?
One, I didn't like the way Windu was talking to Anakin. Like he just gave you potentially some serious information about Palpatine that you've been waiting for, and you were like, if this shit is right, you just really just had an attitude the whole time. It's like, bro, like if this shit is true, then maybe this, that, and other. Like, bro, like go do what you're about to do. So I would have felt some kind of way if I was Anakin. But y'all want to talk about sorry Jedis? Like these are the sorry ass Jedis. Like they didn't even like Palpatine old ass just came in. The first guy he took off just one quick stab. The guy barely, all he did was this, and he's out. And he took off the other ones like it was nothing.
It was just 2 of them. Outside of Mace Windu, right?
No, it was
3. It was 4, right?
It was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 4 of them that went in.
I thought it was 4.
I'll double check.
But he took out the first one like this is like,
no,
what
it
are
was
y'all
definitely 4 of them.
like? What are y'all doing? So we talking about the whole thing, all the way to the end with the electricity and shit?
No.
Okay.
Just Windu going in there to
just Windu going
arrest
in,
him.
Yeah, but yeah, these Jedi, bro. No, yeah, it's sorry as hell.
Yeah, I'm with Ken.
I thought they were sorry too. Spike.
Yeah, I'm with Ken. I was like, is this the enforcement? Like this what y'all sitting in? Like, come on, bro.
You didn't think they were sorry?
Nah, they were sorry.
Oh, okay.
I what was there else to say? Motherfuckers got beat immediately. Like, I mean, that's as sorry as you can get. The worst to get beat immediately is you got to be pretty sorry, right?
Yeah, you gotta be pretty sorry.
I think I'm more upset that Mace let it happen. Like, low key, you like, all right, motherfuckers, get them tied a little quick so I can get right. Like, yeah, they were sorry.
So just like how they did Grievous, this part has always bothered me too. is why did you bring 3 Jedi in here and have them die like this? At least have them put up a fucking fight. The first guy, like you said, and the way Palpatine holds his sword is all stiff and weird. And I think the explanation that they tried to give later on is nobody does that jumping spin move shit that he did. So he caught them off guard. I might accept that for the first dude that he landed and stabbed, and the dude was just like, okay, I'm dead. But the other two, I'm just like, bro, all he did was turn around and slice the other guy.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, man, what is this? But I am pretty sure that is his name, Kit Fisto. But he gives up a little bit of a fight, but he dies too.
Man, Mace used that nigga as a shield. The twirl around that nigga. He was like, all right, take that nigga out so I can get behind you and move you backwards. Like, that's exactly what Mace set them niggas up. He like, I need y'all niggas to get this shit started.
And
so
maybe you'll tire him out a little bit.
Yep.
So I can jump in that. Look, as much as I fucking hated The Acolyte, as trash of a show as I think that was,
The fights were dope.
The fights were fucking
Yeah,
dope.
the fights
And
were
that
dope.
is how you make a Sith scary when they're killing Jedi. The way Chimere was wrecking those motherfuckers, that's how Palpatine should have been. This fucking stab and then the one slice. It was just like, dude, what is this? Like, I've seen these guys fight in other shit and they don't fight this whack. So why did you do this?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mace Windu, he takes Palpatine down, but Anakin's ass shows up. Ken, were you surprised when Anakin made his choice? If you can remember the first time you saw it.
No, we knew where this was going. I was disappointed that he did because it's just like you put a lot of faith in him, and even the conversation that took place when he told Windu, was like, we don't kill, but yet you just killed. So it's just like, bro, like what like make that make sense. But yeah, I ultimately he had to do it. It's just him being hypocritical in doing it is the issue I had in what happened here. But I guess the question I had watching it was, Windu won that fight.
I won't give my opinion yet. Spike, did Windu win that
I-
fight?
okay, because I want to come back to this because I do have questions, and I've had 2 thoughts, but watching it back, I was go ahead, Spike.
Yeah, he did win that fight.
Okay.
I'm with Ken on that. That's all I got. Yeah, he
All
did.
Did Mace Windu win that fight, Jalen?
I don't know, because Palpatine he was faking too at the end of the fight. Like, I'm so weak. Oh, I'm tired. Like, and then all of a sudden, all this like, nah. So I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent. But as far as the original question, it made perfect sense why Anakin did what he did, because he pleaded with him. Anakin was kind of like sitting there waiting for something to like for the end of this to happen. Like, all right, we're gonna arrest him. He told him like, no, he needs to stand before a trial. And he was like, I need him. Like, I need him. He wasn't explaining why, but he was pleading with them enough for like, as a Jedi, we don't kill. But you were going to break the rule because it fit for you at that moment because you were at
killed,
fear.
motherfucker. You killed earlier.
Who? Mace?
Anakin.
Well,
You
yeah.
killed
Yeah,
Dooku.
we're not worried about
Yeah.
Anakin. We know.
We know that
And-
he's having issues.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Windu
Yeah.
going from he's going to stand trial to now we got to kill this.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
like at
Yes.
least like you told him he would gain your trust if this was true. And Anakin, he said he told you to stay away, but you went anyway. So yeah, Anakin broke that rule, but you should have trusted Anakin, like, all right, and listen to your intuition of like, I'm a Jedi and I shouldn't do this, and I have Anakin here to at least help me if I need and if there's anything that goes wrong here. But he was like, nah, fuck that, I got to take this motherfucker out.
If there was one thing Anakin got right was he said, you need me when you go arrest him, man. And I'll be damned if you weren't right the way them 3 motherfuckers got taken out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Windu's turn to we gotta kill him, was rather quick. Going from we need to, like, and I think that's what sent Anakin over the top.
I mean, I get why Windu said it. Now, it's not like I don't understand
you
why
just
he
told
said
him
it,
you needed to
but
stand
you
trial,
need to also stick. Like, you need to be a man of your word and what you said and what you decided was a principle of your life, your entire life and your being. You're going against that. So I can also see Anakin being like, "Hold up, you told me this one thing." Like, so I'm indifferent about the fight, though. I think it kind of like you can pick either side.
Well, so I know, Mike, you gotta go, but
No, go ahead.
watching it, at times I felt like Palpatine set him up. He knew Anakin was coming somehow and lost the fight to be vulnerable in that moment. But watching it, I don't know. I think he lost, and when Anakin burst in, he then played like he was weak because I think his voice started changing and shit when he was down there as well. So I don't know, man. Look, watching it this time, I was like, damn, Windu took him out.
I think if I have an understanding of why Palpatine, I never understood why he transformed. And like, I don't have an understanding of that. Maybe if I have an understanding of why he transformed and how his power came back to him, to me, watching it all, I'm like, oh, he was faking. So I'm kind of indifferent on who won, but I don't know why all of a sudden his whole body deformed and all that. If I understand that, then I could probably tell you who won.
Why did it do that?
Because that's actually his original form.
And it takes all his energy to look the other way.
So no, I think that this just worked for part of his story. I do think Palpatine was faking. I think if Palpatine wanted to, he could have killed all 4 of them when he jumped up there. That's what I've always thought. I don't know this for a fact, of course, because Mace Windu, he is a bad motherfucker. He really is a bad motherfucker. A lot of people there's all these stories about why he has a purple lightsaber. It's in reality, it's because Sam Jackson being Sam Jackson was like, nah, make me something different. I want to niggify my shit. Nah, fuck that. Give me a purple lightsaber.
Purple lightsaber, purple drink.
Yeah, all that. I want great, bro. I want a purple motherfucking lightsaber. That's what black folks do.
I know black people love the color purple.
Right?
Royalty, motherfucker.
And of course, George Lucas is like, oh, fine.
Give it to him.
But then they explain this later because he got a whole backstory that Mace Windu is known to use bits and pieces of the dark side when he fights. So that's why his lightsaber isn't all the way blue. It's actually purple. So Mace Windu is a bad motherfucker, but I kind of think that Palpatine was bullshitting the whole time. I think that if he wanted to, he could kill all of them. But in his mind, he's like, look, if I let him win this, Anakin's going to come in and he's going to have to make a decision. Now, if I just wipe everybody out, by the time Anakin gets here, there's nothing to talk about. I've killed everybody. But he needed Anakin to make the ultimate decision to turn to the dark side. That part was him killing Mace Windu, or at least enabling Palpatine to kill him. So again, just like I said earlier, when he says, killing someone that's unarmed is not the Jedi way, he says that again here. It's not the Jedi way. Palpatine is unarmed and you're about to kill him. The point is, this is Anakin realizing basically the Jedi are full of shit. Like, y'all don't keep your word. So why would I even want to be a part of this, this clique? So that's when he cuts his arm off, and that's him officially becoming Darth Vader, even though there's still conflict because he's like, oh my God, what did I just do? But then Palpatine was like, hey man, look, I can save your girl. So don't even sweat this.
So how did he know Anakin was on the way though?
Because if you remember, they didn't explain this well, but I've seen it a zillion times. When Anakin is, I think he's in that room, and I hope I'm not mixing parts up, but in his mind, you hear Palpatine talking, saying something like, you need me in order to save Padme, something along those lines. Yeah. When you watch that, you might just assume that that's just Anakin hearing something in his head that's not really there. But when you watch the movie over, you can kind of see that, no, that's Palpatine talking to him.
He says, you know that you need me to save her.
I did think what you just said, that was him replaying those words in his head.
Right. But no, that's actually Palpatine, because having psychic links, I forget what they call it, force links or force connections, some shit, with people is something that we know can happen because Luke has it with Leia. If you remember when Luke is dangling in Empire Strikes Back, he talks to Leia through the Force and says, Leia, I'm here, help me or whatever. So Palpatine doing that with Anakin makes sense. So he knew Anakin was coming. So that's why he went ahead and, he pretended like, I'm so weak. Oh, help me, Anakin.
Yeah, he definitely leaned into it.
Yes. But then after that, unlimited power! And he blows his ass down the fucking street, right? So I do think that Palpatine was actually bullshitting the whole time. He could have took them all out easily.
But it's just like, again, wait. So so Anakin said, we don't kill unarmed people. Palpatine
Yes.
was unarmed,
Yes.
even though Anakin just did the same shit.
But he didn't. But he felt bad about it immediately. If you remember, like
Yeah,
right when he
he
chopped his
did.
head off, he was like, "I probably shouldn't have done that." And Palpatine was the one being like, "Nah, he was dangerous. You did the right thing."
Mm-hmm.
So that was him kind of breaking the Jedi code. But then when we see Mace Windu do it, who's
About
on the council, who's a respected Jedi, who won't even give me the rank
And
Right,
his attachment
master.
to Palpatine.
of master.
He has an attachment to Palpatine too. So like,
Well, that part too.
Well,
he
I
has
felt
a-
like he just it was more about Padme than Palpatine. Not he
It
does
was
have the
definitely more about
attachment too,
Padme.
but for me, I was like, he just cares more about Padme.
Yes.
Palpatine, yeah, he's cool, but I actually need to use him.
yes.
So wait, so no, I thought so. Anakin chopped off his arm.
Yes. And then Palpatine shot him out the
And
window.
Palpatine is the one that ultimately killed him.
Yeah, Palpatine killed him, but he wouldn't have been able to kill him had Anakin. Well, if we're going under the assumption that Palpatine was not faking, then he would not have been able to kill Mace without Anakin chopping his arm off.
yeah, that's my question. What's up with George Lucas and arms?
He has, I don't remember. I wish you'd asked me this weeks ago, but I don't remember.
Everybody get their fucking arm chopped off.
And heads, but so in this one, a lot of people got their heads chopped off. If you notice, well, not a lot of them, but a few. And that also happened in Attack of the Clones. People got beheaded. But yes, there's this thing about appendages getting chopped off. I just don't remember what his explanation for it was. You know, George Lucas he's a nerd, so
yeah.
he had some kind of reasoning for why
It's probably
appendages.
tied to political reasons too.
Probably,
right? Yeah, I
probably.
believe it.
I just don't remember because if I remember correctly, is it always the right hand?
That's what it seems like.
I can't remember, man. I wish I'd. Yeah, if I knew you were gonna ask that, I would have looked it up, but I can't remember. Spike, since you're new, what did you think of how Order 66 went down? Execute Order 66.
That was when they overcame. Like, what was the order?
Order 66 was when the troops turned on the Jedi, and then you see them just killing Jedi
And then
for
it
like a
went
good
from-
10 minutes.
It went from the council to what it is now, like as far as who controls everything, right?
Well, that's not really part of the order. I guess I was just asking, like, what did you think of when all the troops start turning on the Jedi and killing them?
Yeah, that's Order 66.
Oh, okay. It reminded me of the Red Wedding, like Game of Thrones type stuff, like the ultimate betrayal. So I liked it. It was a good twist. So,
Hey, what's the name of the Jedi who looked like
Fine ass blue one.
Does that look like Ahsoka a little bit?
She's fine as shit.
she
Hey,
is.
bro, the way she died.
They had
fell
to make
forward,
sure her ass was
and
dead.
them niggas
They
was
like, bitch,
fired
go off, 'cause she
on
looked
her
like, bruh. She was on.
They had to cut the leaves over. Like, y'all can't see this shit. We killing this body, nigga. Them niggas went to town on her
That
ass.
has always made me so sad. I've never looked that actress up in real life, so I don't know what she looks like.
They did.
But I just always thought she was so fine. I don't even know if she's black, white, Asian. I have no idea. But her little blue ass is fine as shit.
Yeah.
And when they shot her the way they did, I was
Broke
like,
your heart.
why you do my girl like
They
this?
ain't just shot her, Mike. They laid
it-
fired that ass up,
They
Mike.
Yeah, they did.
Bro, they let
They
it go the
did.
whole clip in her,
They
bro.
did. And nobody else got that treatment.
Yeah, just her.
No one.
Nobody else got that treatment, but I think that might be an indication of her also being a bad motherfucker.
Mm.
Like
They gotta
if
make
she
sure
got
she
a
was
hold
dead.
of her Jedi or her lightsaber, she might have been able to take them out. But they caught her off guard. She had her back turned, and they definitely laid into her. Poor thing. Poor thing.
This shit always gets me, man. This Order 66, every time I watch it, I'm like, yo, this is fucked up.
It is fucked.
Like, they've been working with the clones for years.
right?
They never suspected that this would happen.
Not just 2 or 3 years, but we're talking about like
Decades,
Yes,
right?
they've been working with.
They're
them
like
for a long
walking right
time.
in front of them, and then all they hear and then you just pow, like
Mhm.
behind, like they were just talking about, like they don't even know it's happening. They're just
Yeah.
walking ahead and get shot in the back, and it's just, man, every single time it gets me because of the ramifications of what happened, and seeing this after watching the first 3 and seeing like all of this stuff play out. Knowing the results of that by watching the originals, and they had to run in the hiding.
Is there any mention of this in any of the other ones previous? to
Yes,
it?
this is a
Okay,
major.
it's
This is
a
a
big thing.
major event.
And nobody knew what it. The audience didn't know. what it
Oh,
was.
sorry, you meant
or the
In the
66.
He's
original
from the original.
Like, have they?
trilogy.
Did they? You said
No.
for decades it had been playing, obviously, but it wasn't ever like no seeds were dropped, no nothing. It's
It
just
wasn't mentioned in the original trilogy, but it was mentioned in the expanded stuff. This is one of those things where, you know,
Nerdy nerds.
nerds know about it, and we knew that it was coming. We knew what Order 66 was. We knew that that was the catalyst to the majority of Jedi being gone. So yeah, we knew it was coming, but the Jedi had no indication of that shit being about to happen.
Spike, this is one of like when you talk about like movie, like this moment, Order 66 is a huge thing just in just movie TV history. Like what happened with this thing, bro? It is a big fucking deal.
Yeah, okay,
You know,
and that's because of how long it took to set up.
Yeah,
it's just
like-
it wiped
it's
out
just-
a whole bunch
yeah.
of fucking
Most of the Jedis,
bro.
okay.
Like,
you killed most of the good guys.
yeah, like that, and that's what makes Star Wars so amazing to me. But yeah, they wiped out all them motherfuckers, bro. These motherfuckers had to run.
Oh, okay, and this is prior to in the timeline. This is prior to what is it, Andor?
Yes.
So this is why Jedi is so like,
And they
and like they can't really find Jedi. It's your mic.
Oh, you
No, it was an ant.
Oh,
I was
no,
trying
no,
to figure out
no!
where
I
you-
thought he felt some way about you saying Jetto. I thought he was about to.
No disrespect, Spike. I didn't hear nothing you said because the
I'm-
second I saw that ant crawl up, I was trying to get him away from my mic because I don't want him in my mouth. But what did you say? Stop,
Oh.
Spike! God damn it!
Come on, man.
God damn it! Jesus Christ!
Oh,
That was
That
kind
I don't
was
want him in my
egregious.
mouth.
That was
Crazy.
egregious.
But I understood. I didn't even think about it until
I wasn't either.
Spike, stupid ass.
I'm asking like
Oh, God.
in Andor, like ain't it wasn't a Jedi a rare thing
Yes.
in that? Okay, and this is the
We didn't see any Jedi in Andor.
I thought there was
Not
one
a
in that bar or something that they went to. And that girl, she wasn't a Jedi.
No.
It's basically the underground like workings and like spy shit. Like yeah, I think you would really fuck with Andor if you watched.
I think
You don't need to know anything
He
about
said he
Star Wars
tried.
to watch.
Yeah, no. I like it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I've seen the first season. I just never finished the
thought
rest
you-
of it. No, I
Oh,
like
okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Yeah, you should finish the second
No.
season.
Yeah, you like-
It's
yeah.
definitely
I like
It's
Andor.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's not a single Jedi in the entire show.
Okay, got it. All right, got it. And that's because of this.
Yes.
Mostly, yeah. Okay.
Yes, because during the time that Andor is happening, the Jedi are in hiding, but it also is running concurrent with Rebels. So there are Jedi and Rebels. So there are Jedi here and there.
But it's not like a whole
But
like
no,
what we seen in the
It's
first
not
two
a gang
movies.
of them. If you
Got
see
it.
a Jedi, it's a rare thing, and best be clear that somebody's gonna show up try to kill him.
Oh, no,
Yeah, they don't pop out unless they have to.
Okay.
Did you go? Did you say what
About
you thought
Order
about-
66?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was dope to see. My first time watching it, I didn't really understand. I was like, why are they killing the jet? All the niggas dying. Like, I was like, what the hell going on? But now watching it, it's even doper. I don't get in my feels about it like Ken. The one time Ken actually feels something.
This shit is crazy, bro.
It is.
It's like just the ramifications of what happened. I'm just like, yo, this is insane.
But it's definitely one of those, what the fuck, bro? Like, but I don't just be like, I'm like, all right. I think it's because now I'm settled into Star Wars so much. But the first time I'm like, why y'all killing all the fucking good guys? But now I'm like, all right, cool. I think I also have affinity for like I'm cool with bad shit happening for people to overcome that bad shit. So
It's just who does
There's
that?
a lot of bad shit. There's a lot, man. The first time I saw this, I was like, okay, I knew it was coming. And the second he said execute Order 66, I was like, all right, here we go. Here we go. And it did not disappoint. There were so many sad moments outside of your girl getting fucking destroyed while already dead. Keanu Mundi, when he's running, he's like, let's go, guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then
He just turned
He
around.
turned around, was like, what are y'all doing? And they shot the shit out of his ass. Took him out. Then Plo Koon is flying the ship, and they shoot his ass in the back. And it was just sad. But, well, before I get to this part, then the little kid, Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do?
Oh my God.
And all you see is a saber come out. I was like, yo, he killed a little punk ass kid. That's crazy.
You want him to come back?
Bro, the shit was so fucked up because watching it last night,
man.
my wife watched it. I'm like, they even gave the kid a speaking line.
Yes.
They wanted to let you know that this is a kid and a vulnerable kid, and he still killed him.
Yep.
Like they wanted to drive home that point.
That this is a cute,
Evil.
sweet
Right.
little kid. Master
White kid.
Skywalker, what are we going to do? Yeah, if it's a black kid, it'd be like, well, the little nigger did something wrong, I'm sure. Wasn't holding the lightsaber right, hold the lightsaber sideways and shit. He probably
You know we
deserved
would.
it. We gonna fight like this, bro. You gonna be using the force to cook shit real quick.
Oh, I got a lightsaber.
Back in the ass with the force and shit. Yeah, pop. I wasn't there. I don't know what that was. But nah, that kid, that part with the kid, which is why it irks me so bad when these fucking loser dork Star Wars fans are like, I don't like that there was SA in Andor. I'm like, bro, Andor killed. Anakin killed children, toddlers. Sure, we didn't see it, but we also didn't see an actual assault happen to Bix. So y'all are crying over shit that's just like, what are we doing? Anakin walked in there, a cute little white kid, talking about what we're going to do, and got wrecked. Then the very next scene, this is the most heartbreaking shit for me.
before
Go
you do that,
ahead.
I think I also find issue with Anakin was struggling, and he does turn to the dark side. But I don't know if I like the progression of it going from I'm gonna trust you, Palpatine, enough to where I'm gonna kill children. That bothers me a little bit because Anakin has an attachment, and as a person who's probably about to who's fighting to have this woman and like these attachments to people, you're willing to detach automatically so much that I'm gonna kill children.
He's not making the conscious decision to detach at that point. At that point, the dark side has completely clouded his vision. So it's like, in his brain, they are all the enemy.
That's what the order
Even the kids. If I let y'all live, then I can't have what I want, which is Padme and my kids and respect. So I think it's not a matter of he just very quickly was like, oh, okay, cool. So I need to kill all these kids? Bet. I'm gonna go kill these kids. It was when he killed, that's what I was saying earlier, when he helped Palpatine kill Mace Windu, that was the official birth of Darth Vader. That was the dark side completely taking over him. So there wasn't a decision and a choice anymore. It was, this is what you have to do.
And he named him at that point, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, rise Darth Vader. So that's when you know that Anakin is gone. That's why you have the argument later on when Luke is like, Obi-Wan, why didn't you tell me my father was still alive? Because Obi-Wan said Darth Vader killed your father. So when he says, well, you lied to me, he says, no, he did kill your father from a certain point of view.
Because he's somebody else
Yes. Now he is somebody else. Now he's Darth Vader. He is no longer Anakin Skywalker. Typically, when you're taken over from by the dark side, there's no coming back from that. That's just it.
In my view of storytelling, I just like to see more of a progression. It just turns so quick.
Yes.
It's like, damn, like he's there. Like I want to see a little bit more of the motivation to do this. But with the lore of it, I understand how you can put it together.
But it's annoying you need lore in order to make the story make sense.
Yes.
If I have my druthers, obviously, I would chop out the fucking pod race, or at least make it chopped in half. I would remove a lot of the love story in part 2, and then use that time to make this story a bit more fleshed out. I do think it was rushed. I still love this film, but I think I only love this film because I grew up knowing these stories and seeing them play out was cool. But I'm with you 100%. It's rushed, and if you're walking into it new, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And the dialogue is kind of bad.
The dialogue is terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
He killed.
You're beautiful. That's because I'm in love with you. No.
You're blinded by love.
It's because I'm so in love with you.
So you're saying you're blinded by love?
Right, so you think you're blinded by... That's not what I meant.
What
are we
doing? Like,
Why is this necessary? What the fuck? Who wrote this?
So that wasn't just me. That's
No.
a thing.
No, the dialogue is
I was
trash.
like, why is it so bad? It was like purposely bad.
I don't think it's purpose. I think George Lucas is terrible at writing dialogue.
Christ.
Or at least by this point, he's
Okay.
terrible at writing dialogue. But yeah, the most yeah that was bad too. He killed younglings. But nah, the most heartbreaking part of this Order 66 shit was when Bail Organa lands and he gets out his ship and he's talking to those stormtroopers. He's like, "What's going on here?" And they're like, "Nothing. You need to leave." And he's like, "What? What's going on?" And they're like, "No, you need to leave." And they put the gun on him. He's like, "All right, bro. I'm brown. I know what that means, okay? I've had a gun pointed at me before. I'm out." Later. And that little white boy just jumped and flipped and landed. He took a couple of them. He was getting it. And they, "Bow, bitch, you little bastard. You little motherfucker." No! He said, "No!" And tried to ghost ride the whip to get out of there. I don't know why. I've seen this movie a million times, but every single time I dread seeing this part because I'm like, bro, I don't want to see this little white boy get shot like that. No, it was so sad.
I enjoy it because that Bell, when Bell say no, that shit's so funny to me.
It's bad.
No!
And he's actually a good actor. It's almost like George Lucas was making people be bad in this movie. But yeah, that part was sad.
That
So
little white boy, he thought he was doing some
he
shit.
was. He was getting it for a minute.
I don't know why he didn't get.
He should have hopped in the whip. That's what he should have did.
Yeah.
He
He took out two of them and ran two.
Yeah.
With that motherfucker, bitch, you little motherfucker, who do you think you are? We done took out grown ones. And here you come?
Right.
Shit, kebab,
Like,
nigga.
you know, you're attacking them because you already know that they're
What
killing other
happened?
Jedi.
Right.
Why are you doing this?
And you jumped in there
That
to
was a
save this dude
suicide
you don't
mission.
even know.
And he wasn't even in danger.
No, he was leaving.
was-
Why did you do that? You should have hid to the side. Wait till the motherfuckers left. Like, Bail, going on.
Yeah, jumped
Can
on
I
the
come
shit.
too, bro? Stupid little bastard. So as Anakin wipes out the remaining separatists on Mustafar, Yoda and Obi-Wan, they battle their way back into the temple where they discover that Anakin is actually the one who killed the Jedis at the temple. This leads to Obi-Wan going to Mustafar where he battles Anakin. We can go ahead and tackle that whole fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan as a whole. I'm really interested.
You want to do that
to-
before Palpatine and Yoda?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Palpatine and Yoda basically, well, yes, I do.
Okay.
The only reason I want to get Spike's opinion because a lot of people criticize this fight. But real quick, before I get to that part, when Obi-Wan and Yoda were battling those troopers to get back into the temple, did y'all like that part? Oh, what?
Obi-Wan and Yoda?
That shit
Yeah.
was,
Yeah,
bro.
that was
When
good.
Yoda threw his lightsaber in that motherfucker's chest, used the Force to suck
Bring
it
it
back
back.
out.
Yeah, that
I
was
was
fire.
like, yo, this motherfucker's bad.
Bro, Yoda was no joke.
Yeah,
bro.
Yoda's been tough the whole the whole trilogy. When Yoda fights, like I'm tuned in.
Yoda just walked in the room and just waved his hand.
See, that's what's wrong with Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez saw Yoda doing that shit and thought, if this little motherfucker can pop shit, then I can pop shit too. But you not Yoda, Tory.
Yeah, but no, that whole shit before he even got to
That
Palpatine,
shit was
that shit was
hard.
tight, bro. I love seeing Yoda get busy.
Is he the strongest one with the Force?
Yeah.
Okay, so he got it mastered.
He's got the
more than
most.
anybody.
I actually think I remember reading somewhere that they said that Anakin might have more midichlorians. I might be wrong about this, but I think they said Anakin might have more midichlorians. But as far as having a direct connection with the Force and knowing the best way to use, Yoda's that guy.
Okay. You said people criticize this fight. Why?
I think, it is a very long fight.
It is.
Certain things get to be a little ridiculous, but you have two of the strongest people with the
Yes.
Force fighting each other. Yeah, it's going to get ridiculous. But, they're jumping on robot heads and there's lavas. So people think it's a bit
Fire for the
much.
thing. But it did show, like, if you good with the Force, like, what it all entails. And that was good for me as a novice watching. It's like, damn, they can do all of that. So that is what I took from the fight, though I did find it rather long. Pause.
I enjoyed it. I really, I really did enjoy it, especially like for it to be as extensive as it was. Like I think it also lends to the reason why Anakin thinks he can win at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, we just went through all this shit, and I just proved to you, like, this is probably my greatest fight. Like, I'm in tune with the dark side right now, the dark side of the Force, and I feel like how powerful I am. It makes it like I can actually beat you any type of way. The way they even start the fight, what did Obi-Wan says? Like, he says something, and then Anakin's like, "You will try." Like he
said I think Obi-Wan says something along the lines of, then I have to defeat you.
Yeah, I have to defeat him. You will try. Like the confidence that he
said,
feels.
you underestimate my power.
Yes, like he felt that confidence, and he even felt it so much that he's like, I'm gonna rule the galaxy. So all of it makes sense on like how where they went. I'm not mad at this fight. I really enjoy. Like this is my favorite part of this whole. Like this is what makes the film for me. This makes this entire like I will watch all the rest of the film just to watch them fight, and the way it goes back and forth between them and Palpatine and Yoda. Like I love it, man. I don't get the gripes of it.
Yeah, I always thought it was interesting. He was like, "Man, I'm stronger than Palpatine, bro. I can rule the whole fucking galaxy." That's like he's gone, like completely gone.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I man, I'll never forget watching this, bro. Like this shit was epic. Like just even before they got to the lava, man, the lightsaber battle. This was choreography, everything.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They knew each other's moves, like a mirror image of each other the whole fight through, and it was just masterful to watch. Like I'm with you, Spike. Even watching in the theater, like I was nervous. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers fighting through lava. How the fuck you gonna get over there?
Yep.
Like even earlier in the movie when I think Obi-Wan woke up.
After getting knocked the fuck out.
And in the elevator, he was like, "Oh, what's going on here?" Like their calmness and cool throughout dire situations, I've always found really interesting. They're never really bothered. And to the point where they're fighting on this pole, like I would have fell. I wouldn't even went out there. I was like, bro, you got it.
Right.
Like, even when Obi-Wan jumped on the bigger platform and then he followed to jump on the robot's head and they're still fighting. Like that shows to me like they have mastered their craft on all levels. Like they are the peak fighters and users of the Force, where all this other stuff doesn't even bother them at all. It's just part of the arena. And then the raging lava, it's just a sign, like a visual cue that Obi-Wan, and like not Obi-Wan, but Anakin is just gone. That's his rage that we're seeing around him, and Obi-Wan is fighting all of that in the midst of it. And did it bite you?
No, he's just crawling on.
So I love it. I love it. I don't think it's too long of a fight at all. I enjoyed it. It really makes the movie for me just watching them fight and just masters of their craft all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And his arrogance again came at the end. He was like, he said, "Bro, don't do it. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't do this." It was like, he's like, "I got the high ground. What are you doing?"
And he was once again being sunned. That's why he said, "You underestimate my power."
Yeah.
But
do you feel Obi-Wan was holding back a little bit?
No.
I think maybe at first, because when Anakin kicked him a couple times and made him flip down the street. But I think once they got into it, like there's a scene where they're fighting and Obi-Wan is backing up and Anakin is the aggressor. And the majority of this fight, Anakin's the aggressor. I don't know necessarily that Obi-Wan was holding back. Maybe he is. I don't know.
I don't think. Well, I guess I'm using the wrong word. I think I can still feel like he's conflicted.
Yeah, 100%. He's definitely conflicted.
Yeah.
But I think he realizes at this point,
there's no
you
other
have
way.
turned.
Yeah.
You just choked your pregnant wife out on some domestic abuse type shit. And you definitely kicked me in my face. And you're trying to kill me. So at this point, you are gone. So I do think this fight is very long. I do think there are certain aspects of it that are ridiculous. But it's fucking Star Wars. This is the biggest fight we knew that happened and we wanted to. So I don't get the complaints about it being too damn long.
Not at
We
all.
need it to be
That's
long.
what you were here for.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're here because we knew, even growing up, before any of these prequels came out, we knew that the reason Darth Vader was in that suit is because Obi-Wan fucked him up. We knew that already. So we needed to see this. And it was amazing. Yeah, there's some shit that's just like when he's swinging on the rope and they're
I forgot about
on the rope and they're swinging back. It's like, what are we doing here? And, I've definitely seen people that I've talked to make fun of, the part where they're, for a minute, they're both swinging a lightsaber around and they both clash. And then they do this with the Force. They try to force push each other. and they both fly separately. I think all of that shit is dope, man. And I've always appreciated the fact that they blew each other apart to other sides of the room, and the first one to get up was Anakin. He had got up immediately. Obi-Wan was still trying to wake up and figure out what the fuck just happened. So I love this fight. I think it's dope. Him being killed, or not killed, but having his appendages chopped off the way he did, I've always found it interesting because Obi-Wan is like, I have the high ground, don't do it. And it always takes you back, or takes me back to episode 1. And Darth Maul had the high ground. And Obi-Wan still. Because Obi-Wan is more, I guess he's more of a skilled fighter, but he was still fighting off emotion. And it's just interesting the way when Anakin, a Sith, is fighting off emotion, he doesn't think properly. But when Obi-Wan did it, he, you know what I'm saying? He factors this out.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, okay, the lightsaber's there. I can force jump my way up, catch the lightsaber, cut him, cool. When Anakin does it, he's so angry that he just jumps. He didn't think it through. He just fucking jumps. And he gets fucked up. And he's long, you're my brother, Anakin. You're supposed to I hate you. Not become one of them. I hate you.
If you would like an ad-free version of this episode and many episodes to come, head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/frames per second and become a patron where you can receive an ad-free version every week, as well as exclusive content and additional conversation in these episodes. Now let's get back to the show.
Wow, yeah, man, that's a scene from Star Wars.
It is such a good scene,
Yeah.
man. Like, and then when he lights on fire, and then you see, you know, Obi-Wan turn away because he can't watch it, and then you see the very important moments where he picks up his lightsaber and he leaves, because in episode 4 he gives that lightsaber to Luke. So all of that is just it's just such a nice touch that they add, because we could just assume, okay, well, I guess he picked his lightsaber up, but the fact that they show it, it's a small thing, but I just really liked it. But so while Obi-Wan is battling Anakin, Yoda is battling Palpatine. So Spike, what did you think of the entirety of the Yoda fight?
Man, I was surprised Yoda got down like that, man. He a bad little dude, man. In the sense. So I was impressed by it. Like I again, that's why I asked, was he one of the most powerful with it? Because I wasn't expecting that out of him. I don't think again, I haven't dived into the universe, but my only real references to that from watching Andor was a little baby Yoda. Like I ain't
you mean Mando?
Yeah, Mando.
Yeah.
I ain't really know he had a bag like that. So I was impressed by it.
Oh, wait, but you know it's not Yoda, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that.
Really?
A lot.
Yeah.
I've seen it on Twitter. A lot of people still think that Baby Yoda is actually Yoda as a baby.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, then again, I kind of could see it.
It's insane if you know the universe, but I think a lot of people stumbled into Mandalorian without really watching Star Wars.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So they don't know where this story falls. So to this day, a lot of people still think that all of Mandalorian is way before all this other shit. So they think that is Yoda as a baby. So I wasn't sure if that was,
No, I didn't think that.
Okay. But anyway, all right. So you fucked with how Yoda got down. What did you think, Ken?
Did Palpatine want no parts of Yoda? It seemed like he didn't really want to fight Yoda.
He didn't want to fight him. No, he didn't want to fight him one-on-one.
Yeah.
He knew. He knew what I didn't.
What I was like, oh, it looked like Palpatine was trying to he was like, hey man, come on, man. Why we got to do this?
He was trying to run.
Yeah.
He said, if you're so powerful, why are you trying to leave? Yoda was a gangster, boy.
Yeah,
He's only this big, and he jumped in front of him. I'm like, bro, just step over him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love this fight. Yoda's old, so at this point, I think his the old age caught up to him, because he was handling his own, and Palpatine was definitely threatened. Palpatine was throwing fucking chairs at his fucking ass, bro, and that was crazy. Like this month, you gotta use the environment. So this whole thing was really, really dope. And even the point where Yoda finally caught one of them bitches and spent that motherfucker around like a top, threw it back at him. Man, and at that point, Yoda was like, "Yo, let me get the fuck up out of here." Yeah, I said, y'all got it. He said, "I'm out." He said, "That's all I go." He said, ain't doing this shit.
Y'all can have this shit, bro.
He said, yeah. But no, it was a great fight, especially when Palpatine tried to hit him with the electricity and Yoda was like, nah, bitch. I can do this shit too. You got me fucked up. And I think at that point, Palpatine was like, fuck. Yeah, no, this whole shit was dope. I always love seeing Yoda fight because just watching the originals, like, we didn't get a chance to see that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, Spike. Like, we saw Yoda, like, remember, it was 20-some years that he's been in that sound. So we just, Yoda was old and he was just teaching. So we never really got a chance to see him get down.
He didn't even hold a lightsaber.
He was just a puppet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so getting a chance to see him in action has always been a treat and a joy for me.
That's to your point. It kind of, I guess, disappointing wouldn't be the word I would like to use, but it's the one that's just coming to mind as far as when I saw the original trilogy after this, and Yoda wasn't as bad a motherfucker as he was in this. It was like, damn, man, I want to see him like fight Vader. I want to see him go up against them. So it was just like, yeah, I kind of got conflicted feelings about it because I was introduced to this Yoda. Like, to me, I was like, I want to see that badass motherfucker I saw in this scene. So yeah, this was a dope ass scene to see Yoda like going to work like this, bro. Like, yeah, it set my expectations high to see him later on, but I never really got that again. But going back and watching the original trilogy from the beginning, I got more scenes of Yoda. So yeah, I guess for me, it's
because
like
he fought Dooku, right? Yoda, yeah,
episode 2.
Yeah, you gotta watch.
Yeah, you gotta finish it just for that, just for the final fight scene. It's worth it. Yeah, because I still remember vividly the theater. It almost rivals the moment when Cap caught the hammer and everybody started screaming. When Dooku, I won't say what he does before this, but when Yoda comes walking out, you know he always has a little cane. So when he comes walking out, and you hear. And the camera pans on him, the whole theater was like, oh, shut up. Everybody quiet. Everybody quiet. And then he's like, yeah, perhaps we need to have this discussion with a lightsaber. And he pulls his shit out, the whole fucking theater. I had to see it twice because I didn't hear anything for like 10 minutes. Oh, wow. The whole theater erupted. Everybody, including myself, were screaming because this motherfucker was bouncing all over the place and was fucking Dooku ass.
You gotta watch it, bro.
It's so fucking dope.
You gotta watch it, bro.
I mean, granted, of course, we're in 2025, so it's a little bit silly.
Yeah.
But if you can effectively put your mind in 2002, whenever that movie came out, it was a moment. It was a fucking moment. But
you said you have seen the original?
The original
trilogy.
No.
Yeah, when you see that, so you're gonna be like me when you watch the original trilogy. You're gonna be like,
be disappointed.
Huh?
What? Yeah, I know. I don't, Mike. I feel you, bro.
You talking about Spike never seen the original?
I don't know how this happens. I
just put 2 and 2 together. I just gotta figure he didn't. Yeah,
I figured that when he said when we first started out.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to traumatize you.
So like, yeah. So if you ever see the original trilogy, like crazy, you seeing Yoda, then you'll be like, damn, bro, like that bad motherfucker. Like, so I can understand why. Them seeing episode 2, them going crazy because it's like
they seen that first.
Yeah, like I could understand exactly why they felt that way.
Because I think a lot of us we knew he was a bad motherfucker, but we didn't know he got down with a lightsaber because he never uses one in the original trilogy. So I think we just, or speaking for myself at least, I was not expecting. I thought he was going to come in, use the Force, and maybe just kill Dooku that way. Yeah, I was not expecting this motherfucker to open up his little cape and pull out a lightsaber, this little baby ass lightsaber. I was not expecting it. But yes, that scene is so good. And this scene, it makes me so sad every time seeing Yoda lose.
I know.
It's so sad when he's holding on to the little thing and he falls and lands on his little back and he rolls on the ground. I was like, oh, it makes me so upset. And then he has to climb through the little tube thing and call for help. He's like, hey, bro, I lost. Come get me.
He ain't lost. He had a mishap.
He lost, bro. Because still to this day, this is another one of those Lucas should have fleshed this out moments. I don't understand why he left.
No, I don't.
It didn't seem like it was that big of a deal because the other troopers weren't even in there yet.
That's why I said he didn't lose.
He left. He ran.
He lost.
He even said it. He's like, bro, I lost. But I think a lot of people view it as a draw, but I just don't understand why he lost, right? Like, or why he left. I've never really understood that. Because, yeah, he dropped his lightsaber, but you're Yoda. Yeah, you're fucking Yoda.
And you're on the ground now. You can The Force. Could
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
So I wish they fleshed that out more, and maybe people listening, let me know. Maybe I'm just missing it.
Yeah, I think getting the chairs thrown at him wore him out.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But still, had to wear Palpatine out too. So it's like, bro, you really about to leave? I know you fell on your little back and your little hood thing came off. But
Palpatine
bro,
had the high ground too.
he did,
Yeah.
but Yoda could have got his little ass back up there.
He didn't want to.
He didn't want to. He was like, bro, I'm done. I'm tired, bro. I'm going home.
He got to go get his
So
nails
rap.
done
He
again.
didn't even reach out to Obi-Wan. He
Nah.
just like, bro.
He called Organa. I was like, hey, man, can you come get me? Because then
Yeah.
he whooped my ass, bro.
He's like, bro, I've given y'all niggas enough.
Bruh, enough of my time and energy. And the funny thing is when Obi-Wan was like, nah, I can't fight Anakin. Let me go try to fight Palpatine. He's like, nah, you gotta be stronger to fight Palpatine. Anakin should have been like, you little bitch.
Yeah.
You little motherfucker. You told me I couldn't beat him. Here you are. But yeah, so he calls, if I remember correctly, he calls Bail Organa. Bail Organa comes and gets him, and they bounce. And they meet up with Obi-Wan later. They map out that, Organa is going to take one of the kids. Oh, I guess I didn't even mention the fact that, yes, Padme gives birth and she dies. I always thought this part was kind of stupid. She died of a broken heart. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb.
Lost the will to live.
You lost the will to live. It's fucking corny. I just always like, come on, bro. You gave birth to two Force sensitive kids, and you just
Yeah.
like, you little worthless ass. Anyways, that's what you get for being a fucking PDF file, fucking with little kids. So Organa takes one kid, Leia, to. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. I forgot about the part where Palpatine takes Anakin's body back. And this is when we see Darth Vader officially in his suit.
This shit was good and bad at the same time.
Tell me why,
Good
Jalen.
and bad. Like seeing him become Darth Vader, the way they put his body together and did all that, that shit was dope. I love seeing him being in the suit and let's get in that piece of it. But then when Palpatine said she died and he no, what the fuck was that?
Where
for?
is Padme? Is she hurt? Is she okay? Nah, bro, you killed her. No! Why did no one in this studio speak up and be like, nah, you gotta run this back?
Oh man,
Because this shit looks goofy.
man, James Earl should have said, "We ain't doing this. I ain't doing this on this microphone,
Bro,
yeah, we can't do this."
it's so bad.
It is
That part is so. It's dope when the mask first comes down. and
They're
you
working
first
on him
hear
and
the-
everything. All that shit is great.
That part is fucking amazing. But the second he started talking and he got up and started walking like Frankenstein, which is the reference they were trying to use, it was just bad, dude.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
I just love seeing his display of power, how strong he is. And,
Mhm.
Palpatine even mentioned it earlier, like, he's the strongest ever. He's probably stronger than me. And I'm like, you're crazy to even create that, but, which I guess, you go into the Frankenstein and it kind of makes sense.
Yep.
You can see the relation, the parallels, but nah, man, because I'm like, man, Darth Vader is no fucking joke. But I don't even think about the no part that y'all do. I just kind of,
it's a meme at this point.
It takes all the greatness out of it.
It does.
Like he's like, fuck, why'd you even have to say that, bro? Like you didn't have to do that.
He could have said no, but to me, it's the way he stiffly gets off the thing and he's walking like this on top of the no. It's just like, this is terrible.
Yeah. And that's CGI too.
Is it?
It looks like it. It looks like you could tell Palpatine is next to it. Like Palpatine doesn't look as good. I mean, Palpatine looks like human, but Darth Vader looks a little like animated. And I'm looking at it like, why don't y'all just get a normal person to do it?
Are you sure? I thought that.
Man,
I
I'm
think
gonna
that's somebody in a suit.
All right, I may be wrong.
Why
I'm
would they do
I'm
that
fine
in
with being wrong.
CGI? That would be so stupid.
I'm fine with being wrong, but
so
I'm
is that
pretty
why
sure.
it looks so goofy?
I think so.
Oh man. All right. Well, lastly, Spike, what did you think of it? Did you already say?
Yeah, I already said it.
Oh,
It was
okay.
fire. The reveal, like, I didn't even notice the part that y'all talked about. I just struck it up to him getting adjusted to his new suit
Yeah.
and new body and stuff like that. But the reveal itself and like what they were doing, I thought that was right because that was a moment for me in the sense like, oh, okay, I'm putting everything together now. So yeah, it was fine.
I love the fact that he doesn't know that what Palpatine said is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he ever figured it out. I don't think they ever revisit the conversation, but in his brain, he did all of this to save Padme, and then he's the one that killed her. So he killed all these Jedi, including that poor little cute little white kid. He killed all these people, all for nothing. All for nothing. So now at this point, since the love part is gone, only thing he has now to fall on is the respect part and the power part. So that's why we get the Vader we have later on. But the last scene, we see that Yoda is going to go run and hide somewhere. Bail Organa is going to take Leia home and pretend it's his kid. And Obi-Wan takes Luke to Tatooine. And that's where the story ends. So I'm going to ask you first, Spike, since you have not seen the other ones. How did you think the story ended?
This movie overall?
Yeah, this story.
Good.
Sorry, yeah, this movie.
This was good in the sense of it did make me want to dive into the world more, kind of go in order and watch them, especially since I know who Luke and what is her name? Leia. I know who those people are. Of course, I know the iconic scene. So it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense. So yeah,
and
I liked it.
Yeah, good ending. Good ending. Like I said, the third act makes up for a lot of the mishaps in the beginning of it. It makes me like cool. Well, I get to my cool setting on it. So yeah, I really do appreciate the ending of the film.
Yeah, I mean, I think Yoda was telling Obi-Wan, it was like, yeah, you can. This is when he was talking about somebody that cheating death. I think I got that mixed up with Palpatine earlier. But it was like, yeah, we through the Force, you can talk to your old friend,
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon. So I thought that was dope because we do see that happen. So they make that make sense. Of course, we do know about Organa and Obi-Wan lying, talking about he's gonna take this kid and raise him, and then just handing him off to some other adoption agency.
No, that's not what he didn't say he was going to raise.
He
him.
said he was going to take the kid.
Obi-Wan.
I thought Obi-Wan said it was Organa, right?
Organa says that I'm going to take because we've always wanted a kid.
The daughter, and then Obi-Wan said, "Yeah, I'll take the other one."
Yoda says, "Take him to her. Take him to his family."
Oh,
so those people that he drops him off at, that's Aunt Beru and Uncle Ben.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, okay, all right. I misheard.
I thought he dropped him up in an orphanage.
I'm like, you said you want to raise the kid.
That's fucked up.
And next thing we know, you out in the desert just watching from afar, bro. You didn't raise this kid. But I'm just thinking about, like, at this point, like, the ramifications of everything. And, like, from this period all the way to where we pick up with the originals. And I'm like, man, you got to sit there and wait for this kid to be raised and watch over him. The Jedi are in hiding. So there's this whole, like, 20-year period of just things that have happened.
Yep.
So that's all I'm thinking about. Like, it's just like, yeah, it's really interesting just kind of getting this from in this world of Star Wars.
Yep. I felt the same way when I first saw it. I walked out of the theater and I was like, thank God. Because the first one, it was like, second one, it was like, but this one, I was like, this is what I wanted. I mean, obviously in 2005, I wasn't thinking about, oh, you should have fleshed this out more and you should have done this and that. It was just like, yo, we saw Order 66. We saw Anakin get fucked up. We saw the birth of Darth Vader. This shit was fucking dope. When you go back and see it the second, the third time, then you're like, oh, that little no was goofy. And there's some shit that doesn't really make any sense. But overall, it's still, to me, a great film. And it definitely set up a lot.
My bad. I looked at it. I don't know if it's CGI or not. It just looks bad.
It does look bad.
So,
I
can't tell the difference.
It looks really bad. But they had a prime opportunity. Watching this movie, my last thought. Watching this movie just makes me sad with what they did with Obi-Wan show, because they were set up to make this such a great story, And this guy is an absolute fucking asshole turd. But this guy, Star Wars Theory, has a video where he talks to this dude who wrote the original of what the story for Obi-Wan was going to be. And it was a million times better than what we got. There was no fucking DEI character in there running around with box braids talking about Obi-Wan. But so yeah, I feel like this set up a lot that they could have done, but they just didn't do. But this movie is still great. I really wish I could have had a chance to go see this in the theater again when it was out, but I didn't know it was only for one day.
I didn't know that. Man, I was disappointed when I
so
saw
mad.
that. I was like, oh my God, are you serious?
I texted Alaska. We were talking about it. He was like, what? It's in the theater? I was like, yeah, dude. It's doing the whole theater run, man. You got to go. And he's like, oh, shit. I'm in it. I'm going. And then I was going to buy my ticket and something happened with work. And then he texted back and he was like, dude, it was only in the theater for one day.
I didn't even know that until you just said it.
Oh.
Because when I was like, oh yeah, I got to go. And then I was like, oh my God, where is it? It's not here.
Yeah.
I said, I thought it was in there for at least more than one day.
I thought it was going to be there for a couple of weeks because the anniversary wasn't until the 18th or 19th.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, yeah.
But they released it like
today.
a month ago or something.
They fucked that up.
Yeah,
they fucked that up. So I was disappointed I didn't get a chance to see it in the theater too. But
Yeah.
I feel a little bit better that it was only one day. So it's
Yeah,
not
it was
my
only one
fault.
day, so we all missed it. It's not your fault. They didn't plan this out very well.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's our review of Revenge of the Sith. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. Definitely leave some comments. Let us know what y'all thought, and we'll see y'all next time. We out.
Peace.